Assalamualaikum and greetings students. So in this video, I'm going to explain to you on our chapter 7, which is on the promotion. So basically, chapter 7 is quite long. Therefore, in this particular video, I have divided the section. Okay, the one that I have highlighted in yellow is what we're going to cover in this particular video. And next week, we will cover the rest of 7.5 until 7.7.2. Okay, so let's get started. First thing first, let's look at the 7.1, the role of promotion in the marketing mix. As you know, there are 4 P's, which are your product, place, price, and also promotion. So here in promotion, the company or the firms will be able to actually communicate to their customer, because once you already have the product, okay, and then you put the price of the product and you put it at the places, okay, where you distribute the product everywhere using whatever channel that you wanted to use. Next, it is now in the market. So the promotion is where you will be able to let your customer know about the existence of the product, which they can get at certain places or everywhere that you have put in the placement of the product. So essentially, promotion allows firms to make their products known to the customers. And of course, firms will do the promotion. Of course, they wanted to inform the customer, or it can be done to persuade the customers, or even reminding the customer about the product that they are selling. So we move on to the goal of promotion. Basically, promotion seeks to modify the behavior and thoughts in some way, and also to reinforce the existing behavior. Of course, like I told you just now, the goal of promotion is actually to either inform, persuade, or remind, or even a combination of these 3. So let's look at each of these particular goals of promotion. So the first goal of promotion, which is to inform, it is about informing the market. Yeah, so in this type of promotion, informative promotion, which is done prevalently during the early stages of the product life cycle, when it can actually increase demand for a product category. This is to explain to the customers or to the public or the market itself about the purpose and also benefits of a good or the service that you are selling. And some complex products often require informative promotion that will explain some technical benefits, especially when you want to buy a laptop, for example. So you will not just want to look at the look of your laptop, but rather into some technical aspect or technical benefits of the laptop before you purchase the product. Secondly, to persuade. Now with the word persuade, okay, we have the word persuasion here, which is the second promotional task, which is simply attempting to motivate a consumer to purchase or use more of the product. So persuasion normally becomes the primary promotional goal when the product actually entering the growth stage of the product life cycle. Okay, this is because you wanted to convince the customer to buy your company's brand rather than the competitor's brand. Remember, in your growth stage of the PLC, the competitors started to come in, right? So as the competitors start to come in, you have more persuasion need to be done so that customer will always choose your brand over the competing brands. And the third one, to remind, which is a reminder promotion used to keep the product and brand name in the public's mind. Okay, a reminder promotion is normally common during the maturity stage of the product life cycle, because the product has been in the market for so long, right? Somehow or other, you don't want to actually inform them about the product, or you don't want to be persuading them, but rather you want to remind them about the goodness of your product, okay, which is to trigger the memory of the customers about your brand, right? Okay, moving on to the AIDA concept. Now, AIDA concept is actually a classic model for reaching the promotional goal, which it stands for attention, interest, desire, and action. So it outlines the stages of this consumer involvement with the promotional message. Okay, whether you want to get attention from your customers, you want to hold the interest, arousing their desire to purchase, or even obtaining their action to purchase the product immediately. Let's look at this particular AIDA concept one by one. Now, when you talk about attention, the first one, which you must first gain the attention of the target market. Okay, as you already have a new product in the market, you want them to be paying attention to your product. Okay, so typically in gaining the attention, customers will want to see something that is attractive. Okay, something that is different than the others, like how you pay attention to certain products because the color is so bright, or because the sound of it is so unique. Okay, and some other elements that you can actually create the attention for customer to actually feel that they wanted to know more about your product. Second, which is interest. Okay, is the next step to create an interest of the product after you have gained the attention. Next, customer will already notice about your product. Now you want to create that interest by giving them what they want to know more on the product itself, especially on the benefits of the product, because they feel interested. They started to know what is this product all about. Okay, and then you go to the third step, which is the desire, which is the desire to purchase the product itself. When customer already know and feel interested about your product, you want to make them feel that they must have the feeling of wanted to buy. Okay, not just that, oh okay, I don't need it now, no, I don't want it now. Okay, but rather you want to get them to actually feel that they really want to buy the product. So that is when you're able to create the desire, especially when you start to say that the product is actually a hot selling product, or you can say that, oh, this is the last item, or today is the last day of promotion. Okay, so that is when you actually feel that you make them feel like they have to buy it now. All right, that is when you create the desire for the customer. And lastly, the action, which is the final step in this purchase decision, which you want them to actually make the payment. Okay, action is actually they go to the counter and they tell you, okay, I'm buying this. Okay, and exchange took place when there's an action, when customer decided to purchase the product that you are selling. Okay, so the promoter's task is actually to determine where on the purchase step most of the target consumer are located. Okay, are they at the attention stage, or are they at the interest, desire, or even action stage? So you can actually design a promotion to meet these particular needs. If your customer do not know about your product, then you must actually find out that you need to create their attention. Okay, or if they already know about your product, next they wanted to know more about your product, so that is when you realize that they are actually at this interest stage. Okay, or if they keep on asking you about the price of the product, so normally the cue or the sign that the customer have the desire to buy is when they start to ask about the price of the product. Okay, so that is when they have the action, like for example they start to grab their purse or wallet. Okay, there is, you can see some actions that they are making, and then, or actually picking up your product and bring it to the counter for payment, that is actually an action. So you already know this particular customer would like to purchase your product. Now, each of these promotional tools is more effective at certain stages of this AIDA just now. For example, this advertising is more effective in gaining attention. Public relations are also greatest impact giving here in giving the attention for a company or product or good, yeah, or a service itself. While the sales promotion is most effective in creating strong desire and also purchase intention, and personal selling are basically effective in creating customer interest, because you have that personal touch or personal knowledge about that particular customer, so you know what do they have interests that are actually suitable for the product to them. Okay, now we move on to the next one, which is promotion mix. Do not get confused with your marketing mix. Marketing mix consists of your 4Ps, right? While promotion mix, all right, these are actually the promotion strategy used to coordinate the plan for the optimal use of elements of promotion. So promotion mix are actually the elements of promotion. Like I told you just now, promotion is the communication done by marketers, right, to inform, to persuade, or even to remind the buyers about the product. So let's look at what are your promotion mix. So this is your promotion mix, okay, or promotional mix. It's a combination of the tools of the promotion. So sometimes it is called promotion tools, sometimes it is also known as promotion mix. Basically, it is these four things, which is advertising, sales promotions, public relations, and personal selling. So like I've told you, in this first part of the chapter, I'm going to cover only on the advertising, okay? Before we go into advertising, okay, which is the first promotion mix, let's look at factors affecting promotional mix. Basically, these are the factors that firms will actually consider or look into first before they decide on which promotion mix that they are going to use for the product. Okay, so first thing, of course, they are looking at the nature of the product, whether it is actually a service or is it tangible goods, all right, whether that particular product can be standardized or can be customized, all right, and it also may relate to the types of product, which is either the convenient product, shopping products, specialty product, or even the unsought products. So that is related to the nature of the product. Next, talking about the market itself, the target market, where they are located, okay, in what generation or which cohort of generation that there are, okay, are the baby boomers, generation Zs, millennials, and so on, okay. The next factor is at the looking at the stage of product life cycle, okay, whether that particular product is at the introductory stage, growth, maturity, or decline stage. The next factor is when firms will also look at the type of buying decisions, right? Whether is it a routine buying decision, is it a complex buying behavior, and the one that you have learned previously. Okay. Next one, of course, they are looking at their own promotion funds, which is how much money do they have. Of course, when you talk about advertising, for example, and using many medias in advertisement could incur a lot of costs, all right? So depending on the money that the firms have to actually spend on promotion, okay, they can do a lot more of the promotion mix. And lastly, the another factor that affecting the promotion mix will be either it is actually a push or a pull strategy. Talking about push or pull strategy, this is whereby when you talk about push strategy, meaning to say this is more or less like a sales orientation, which you have the product and what you do now is actually to push that product to be sold to everybody, all right? Or there's another strategy is either using the pull one. Pull one meaning to say you are trying to actually create the demand first, then you get people to actually purchase the product. Okay, so that those are the 5 factors. Is it 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, 6 factors that affecting the usage or the one that you want to choose for your promotion that you wanted to do for your organization or for your product. Now we are into advertising, okay? First thing first, of course, we need to know what is the definition of advertising, and then we're going to look into the major types of advertising and the media decision in advertising. Now, let's first look at the definition of advertising. It is actually impersonal, one-way mass communication. When you talk about impersonal, that means it is not for one person. It's for everybody or it's for the whole public. All right, and it is a one-way mass communication, one way because it is just from the advertiser to the whole customers or the whole market. Okay, so it's a communication about a product, or it can be also about an organization that is paid. Okay, that is paid. There's no free advertising, but somebody must be paying for that advertisement. All right, so that is why they call it paid by the sponsor. Right, so by looking at this particular advertisement, for example, you will know that there's something that they're showing here is about the product, is the car, and you know it is paid by whom by looking at this particular logo. Can you tell me which company is this car from? I think guys should know right now. If you do not know, please Google who produced the Mini Cooper. Next, this one, for example, you can see clearly about the product itself, what it does, okay, where you can see there's a brand here, Sharpie. So Sharpie actually is the one that paid for this particular advertisement. So continue again. Now, when you talk about advertisement or advertising, cost per contact is very low because advertising can reach such a large number of people. However, the total cost to advertise is actually very high. This is because when you talk about putting up an advertisement in a newspaper, for example, for one day advertisement, whole full page colored, okay, on a newspaper, for example, on a Borneo Post, that particular advertising cost could reach up to 30,000 or 40,000 ringgit. Okay, that is the whole page full colored, and it is on, let's say, on the first few pages of the newspaper. And if it is on the front page of the newspaper, then it will be much more expensive. However, when you talk about the cost per contact, it is low because when you divide, the total cost just now, divide with a large number of people that will be reached using that particular advertisement. We're talking about, let's say, TV advertising, for example. When you want to advertise on TV, you need to pay for the production costs. Okay, you need to pay for the actor, the actress, the editing team, and the director, and so on. Okay, so that cost could be reaching up to 50,000. However, when you start to advertise that particular advertisement on television, it can reach millions of people. Okay, or if let's say you are putting it on YouTube or on Instagram, for example, um, the viewers can reach up to millions. So when you divide, let's say, 50,000 cost of producing that particular advertisement, divide with, let's say, it reach about 50 million people, then cost per contact will be very cheap. Okay, so that is what you call by cost per contact is very low, but total cost to advertise is very high. Now, there are two major types of advertising. Yeah? The first one is institutional advertising, and the second one is product advertising. When you talk about institutional advertising, it is used if the goal of the campaign is to build the image of the company rather than to promote a particular product. Institutional advertising typically advertise about the company, not the product. While the product advertising itself, of course, from the word product here, it displays the benefits of the specific goods or service. Now, institutional advertising has four important audiences, which is, of course, the public itself, the investment community, the customers, and the employees. There is a unique form of institutional advertising which is called the advocacy advertising. Now, this advocacy advertising is a way for corporations to express their views on some controversial issues. And many advocacy campaigns react to some criticism or blame, media attacks, or impending legislation. This type of advertising is actually to support some causes, right? That particular organization talking about some controversial issues or some what they call it, public concerns. Okay, for example, when there is this COVID-19, for example, then you will see a lot of advertisement on TV about how you should actually be doing social distancing, right? You shouldn't be in the crowded places. You should wear your facial mask and so on. So that is actually how that particular organization actually create or support some causes. Let's say another example could be Save the Environment by WWF to not let people do those, what they call it, uh, the deforestation, for example, because it will kill the habitat of this wildlife animals, all right, or stop throwing rubbish into the ocean that will kill the blue whales and so on. All right, so that kind of advertising is called the advocacy advertising. Next is the product advertising. Okay, so there are actually three types of product advertising, namely pioneering advertising, competitive advertising, and comparative advertising. A pioneering advertising is intended to stimulate the primary demand for a new product or the product category itself. So pioneering advertising typically to inform the customers about the product because it is new. Okay, the competitive advertising is actually to influence demand for a specific brand, and it is often used when a product enters the growth phase of the product life cycle. Competitive advertising typically emphasizes on the benefits or the uniqueness of a brand, while comparative advertising, you will have in that same advertisement comparing two or more specifically named or shown competing brands on one or more specific product attributes. Okay, comparative means you actually shows your brand and brand X. Okay, or you don't use brand X, you can also use like Coca-Cola compared to Pepsi, or Dynamo compared to Breeze, for example, the detergent, yeah. Or you can also see a lot of comparative advertising by Samsung towards their competitor, which is Apple. All right, and competitors, or sorry, the advertisers often make taste, price, and also preference claims in the reference to the competition of this particular comparative advertising. Okay, moving on to the media decision in advertising. Okay, so a media, okay, is a medium, yeah, which is the channel that is used to convey a message to the target market. In media planning, okay, it is actually a series of decisions advertisers need to make regarding the selection and use of the media to communicate the advertising message to the target audience. Because there are many media, yeah, so the media categories include broadcasted media, printed media, online media, and also other medias. So this could be some of the example that you will actually know. You will see, of course, online, okay, or on television, or you can see it anywhere while you are watching TV, okay, or even in your newspaper or on your phone. So there are actually 7 major types of media. Please do not get confused with advertisement. Yeah, when you talk about the types of advertisement, you have all those institutional advertisement and also, sorry, institutional advertising and product advertising, and under product advertising you have the pioneering, comparative, and also comparative just now. Now we talk about media. Okay, there are 7 major types of media for you to do the advertising. Okay, first one is newspaper, then magazine, radio, TV, internet, out of home, and also alternative media. So of course you know newspaper, right? Although sometimes it is not today, no more like physical newspapers using papers, but there are also newspapers online, okay, or e-newspaper. So newspaper advertising has the advantages of having a geographic flexibility and also timeliness. Okay, and newspapers can reach a very broad mass market. When you talk about geographic flexibility, this is when you can actually know where these newspapers are being published, okay, and to whom or to which location that this newspaper are being published. For example, if you want to target your market in Sabah and Sarawak, so you will be able to know that you can actually use Borneo Post, okay, Utusan Borneo, Utusan Sarawak, right, to advertise your product. If let's say you are targeting your products to the West Malaysian, all right, market, the West Malaysian market, they don't have Borneo Post, yeah, so you will not be advertising and using that media of Borneo Post. Of course, it will not reach to those people in West Malaysia. So perhaps you might want to use the Star newspaper or the New Straits Time or Berita Harian or Sinar Harian, okay, for you to reach those geographic location. And also timeliness, because you know when it will be published. okay, a newspaper. If you want to advertise tomorrow, then you need to know when is the deadline for you to submit your advertisement, so that they will be able to publish it tomorrow. Or if let's say you are targeting it to be published at the end of the month, then you will know on the 30th of June, for example, you wanted to advertise the product. So there will be time that you can actually look forward in order for you to choose the timing of your advertisement to reach the market. There is also this cooperative advertising in an arrangement in which the manufacturer and also retailer can split the cost of advertising the manufacturer's brand. Okay, I'm not sure whether you actually know about this or not, but if you actually have read some physical papers, yes, physical newspapers, you try to grab it one. If you can have it at your home, you will see that there are some advertisement whereby there's an advertisement of this retailer. Okay, they will advertise some of the products that are on promotion in their advertisement. For example, H&L supermarket, the retailer, okay, is the H&L supermarket. So H&L supermarket put in the newspaper or advertise in the newspaper the items that are on sale in their supermarket, and those items are actually manufacturers' product. Like when they say, okay, Dynamo offer, or Milo offer, how much is it? Nescafe offer reduction in the price, okay, or you save 10 ringgit when you buy the Dynamo, or you save 30 cents when you buy the EOS soya milk. Okay, so those are the brands of the manufacturer. Now what happens is that when they do that advertisement, they will split the cost of that advertising, okay, with those manufacturers who sell that particular product. In this case, you will also see that some products that are actually on sale at the H&L supermarket are not being advertised. This is because perhaps that particular manufacturer did not contribute or cooperate, okay, in the advertising cost. Okay, so that is when you do this cooperative advertising in the newspapers. Typically, the retailers, which are the supermarkets, yeah, they always do this because they want to spread the cost, so they put the name of the product and also the picture of that particular manufacturer's product on that advertisement, and tell the public or tell the market that they are actually on sale. All right. Second one, magazine. So you know magazine. Do you read magazine or not? Whether it is actually printed or online magazine. Magazines are often targeted to a very narrow market because they know who are their readers of this particular magazine. Okay, although they may have a very higher cost per contact, but the cost per potential customer will be much more lower. Okay, because it can be directed towards that particular group of people or that target market directly, because your target market could be also the readers of that particular specific magazine. For example, if you are a bridal, okay, you are a bridal shop, so you wanted to advertise about your bridal package, you will know that those people who wanted to get married will always read the magazine, like the wedding or the bride, the magazine, or there are also Malay magazine, what they call that thing, impian, something impian, is it perkahwinan impian kah? Okay, all those type of magazines that are actually will be bought or will be read by the potential bride and also potential groom. Well, the groom will normally don't read the magazine lah. The brides are normally, okay. So that's why there is a magazine named The Brides, all right, which is solely devoted for the brides that are going to get married. So if you are the bridal company, you want to advertise about your product, you know where to advertise it. Okay, so that is what it means. It can actually target to a very narrow market. Next, radio. Of course, you listen to the radio only when you are in your car, isn't it? Okay, so it also can be directed to specific audiences and has a large out of home audience. Okay, out of home because normally you will listen to the radio when you're in car or driving. Okay, and it has a lower unit and also production cost compared to advertising on TV, yeah, and it is also timely, can be having also some geographic flexibility. So if you want to know about products that are sold in Sarawak, then you can listen at Sarawak FM or Cats FM. They can even use the the advertising that they are using are also in the local languages, yeah, like Sarawakian languages. Or if you listen to if you're Chinese and you're listening to the Chinese radio station, they will be speaking in Mandarin. Okay, so those are in a way that it actually can be reaching towards specific audience. Next is TV. Do you still watch TV? I hope you still watch TV lah, huh? Especially the news. Okay, so television can be divided into networks, okay, like the ABC networks, NBC, CBS, and also Fox, right? It can also be divided into independent station, cable channels, and also direct broadcast satellite TV. Direct broadcast satellite TV is just like Astro lah. Now, cable TV is the largest growth, of course, is in US, okay? The TV can reach a huge market, okay? But of course, like I told you, the advertising time and also production cost is very expensive. And there is what they call this infomercial. Infomercial is one kind of like a very long advertisement, okay, like 30 minutes or longer, which is popular because the cheap airtime and the relatively small production cost. This infomercial are typically aired, okay, when you put it on TV, you call it on air, right? Typically on air at the time where people don't watch TV, okay, let's say after 12 midnight. Then when you you don't open, you watch your TV, those hours, typically they will advertise about some products, okay, just like the Go Shop kind of infomercial. But Go Shop is actually a different channel, okay. But if let's say you suddenly see that kind of Go Shop kind of advertisement on the non Go Shop TV, so that is actually infomercial, right? Next is the internet. I think this is very, very close to you, right? Because you always on the net. Okay, so popular internet sites and also search engines generally will sell this advertising space called the banners, or even when you Google things, right? There are also advertisement that Google sell, because the moment that the moment that users put the keyword of the product or the brand name or anything that is related to your product, your advertisement will pop up the first search results, right? Other than the banners itself. Now, the web advertisers also becoming more targeted with their approach to advertising by studying the clickstream media, like your whatever things that you have been searching for. Let's say you Google new phone 2020, okay, new phone 2020, you Google that thing. You can try this, yeah. And then let's say you click on, let's say, iPhone, or you click on Oppo. You like Oppo so much, you can click on Oppo. So what happened is that after you close that particular browser, this is when you don't clear your cookies and also your cache, yeah. You go to your social media, like your Instagram or your Facebook, okay, then you will start to see that there are advertisement, okay, about phones on your social media, on your what do you call it, news feed, okay, on the news feed. So this is what the big data kind of thing done, all right, so that they know, or they keep, especially Google, they do keep whatever that you search, and then they will actually display whatever that you have searched on your other platform of your social media, and especially on your newsfeed. Okay, you try to do that and let me know whether it happens to you or not, because I've did that before. I try to look for printer on Google. I try to compare some brand over another brand on Google. So I click on some websites like HP, Fuji Xerox. Another one is, what is that called again? Toshiba printer. Okay, and after that, I go to my social media, go to my Instagram, and I started to see that there are many advertisement on printers on my news feed. Okay, so that is what they do. They are becoming more targeted to the approach by studying this click stream. Whatever I click, so they remember that and they know what I'm looking for. All right. Or you can try another one like a flight to KL, for example. Then you started to see on your social media there are advertisements from booking.com, from Agoda, or some Trivago kind of thing to tell you where to stay in KL and so on. Okay, it's amazing, but of course at the same time it's scary because of your privacy data also been like exposed. Okay. Okay, moving on to the sixth one, which is out of home or outdoor advertisement, OOH, yeah? Or they call it the out of home and also outdoor. It is a flexible, low-cost medium that may take a variety of forms, such as on the billboards, skywriting, advertisement in and on modes of transportation as well. That is when you can see on your bus, for example, there are an advertisement on your bus, isn't it? Okay, and it reach a broad and diverse market, so it can be seen by many people. Okay, that is out of home. And lastly, the alternative media, which includes some facsimile machines, fax machine, yeah. This one typically done in offices lah, because only in office have machines, fax machine. Okay, video shopping carts, electronic place-based media, the interactive computer advertising, especially on your mobile phones, games, yeah. When you want to move on to the next level, if you don't buy the apps, then you use it for free. So there is an advertisement in that particular game. Before you can move on to the next level, you have to watch that particular advertisement. So that is alternative media. Okay, or it can be also in the cinema. And of course, okay, sometimes when you watch some video on your social networks, suddenly there is an advertisement in the middle of the video. So that is actually video advertising lah, right? So these are some pictures and also examples of the OOH just now, out of home advertisement here. So it's on the bus, on the truck, okay. It could be on the building, okay. In the supermarket itself, you have these LED screens, okay, or in the train station where it is using this kind of watch advertisement for the handle for the customer to actually hold on to, right? This is actually an electric car by Chevrolet, where it shows that this is how the car is being charged to the switch. This is an what I call it, skywriting. This one, if you watch some movies, yeah, they do show this kind of things on the on that particular movie. So that is actually skywriting, or even they do have a plane that bring this kind of banner or balloons, okay, on the sky. Here you can see some of the advertisement on the shopping carts, okay, or the trolley, which of course I don't see this in our country or even our in Kuching. So but there are such thing, okay, like this one that they can put an kind of a very interactive, and it does change the screen here, as well as some of the billboard that are actually on digital. All right, so these are some of the examples of the other media. Okay, now last part, which is the media selection consideration. So there are many media to choose, okay. Which one that you want to choose, or how many you wanted to use in order for you to advertise your product? First, you need to look at the cost per contact, okay, which is the cost of reaching one member of the target market. If your target market is very huge, very large, then it is what I call it, is worth for you or viable for you to invest into a very expensive media, okay. And when you talk about the reach, which refers to the number of target consumer exposed to a commercial at least once over a period of time, such as 4 weeks. So you want to see how many times will the customer reach the advertisement, okay, in a week or in a month or in a day. Okay, there is reachability. For example, newspapers. So newspapers normally one time, because people only read newspaper once a day, or let's say you are exposed to that newspaper once because you don't read last year's newspaper or last month's newspapers, isn't it? Unless you wanted to find something there. But when in daily basis, when you reach, when the advertisement using a newspaper can reach customers only once in a day. Unlike the advertisement on TV, for example, have you ever noticed that when you watch that TV channel, right, a drama, TV3 ke, you know, your Astro punya drama ke, during the commercial break, okay, you will see many times the same advertisement, okay, in that, let's say, 1 hour duration. So let's say in that 1 hour, there are 4 times commercial break. So you are actually exposed to 4 times of that particular advertisement. Of course, you normally don't really watch advertisement during the air lah. You will always go grab some drinks, go to the toilet and so on, right? Okay, but then again, it is counted as the reachability or the reach of the advertisement to the consumer or the market. Next is the frequency measures. Okay, frequency here measures the intensity of coverage in a specific medium, and is the number of times an individual is exposed to a brand message during a specific time period. It's similar like the reachability, but the reachability means like let's say it's only once a week, but or once in 4 weeks. But when you talk about frequency, how many times could that particular customer be able to see or get exposed to the advertisement? For example, magazine could be having a very huge or large frequency, because unlike newspapers, you read magazine and you keep magazines, right? Newspaper you always recycle lah, you just buang or you tunggu Cina datang ambil your newspaper, right? All newspaper kind of thing. But magazine, you don't really throw it away after you have read your magazine. You will always keep it, okay? But somehow or other, you will be able to be exposed again to the same advertisement over and over again in a magazine, okay? Next is the audience selectivity, which is the medium's ability to reach a precisely defined market, okay? And then you have the flexibility of the medium, which can be extremely important to the advertiser, how flexible it is, especially in terms of the language that you can use in that particular advertisement, the design of it, or the timing of it. Like normally, if you are putting it on air, the advertisement are actually by blocks. Blocks could include by 20 seconds, okay, per block. So you have to either make sure that your advertisement is 20 seconds or let's say 40 seconds. Okay, so that is by block. The flexibility is not like as you want, like you want to do only 13 seconds, or you want to do 15 seconds of advertisement, okay, on TV. So that is not really flexible, because they are the timing are being sold by block, which is typically 20 seconds per block. So you either have to really make sure that your advertisement equal to 20 seconds or 40 seconds and that particular number. Next is the noise level. Noise level is the level of distraction to the target audience in a medium. Noise here includes whatever distraction, yeah, like in the newspaper, if you put your advertisement there, what are the likelihood of people will actually get distracted towards other advertisement, okay, especially when you read classifieds. Do you know classifieds or not? If you read newspapers, there is this one particular section, yeah, which is called classifieds. In that classifieds, they have all advertisement, and they are normally cheap, yeah, all advertisement in that classifieds. Typically, if you want to find jobs, yeah, then you start to book out the newspaper, and then you wanted to see all the vacancies, okay, that are available for you to apply, okay. Or in a magazine, if you read magazine, yeah, because I do read Clio magazine, for example. So in that magazine, the first few pages of that magazine will be advertisement, and it is all about different types of products. Some are your competing brands as well. So these are actually distraction or the noise level of the medium towards getting attention or getting your eyes to stop and actually read and look into that particular advertisement. And lastly, the lifespan, which means the message can either quickly fade or persist as tangible copy to be carefully studied or for future references. Like if you do it on skywriting, for example, skywriting, come on, it will not last forever. Perhaps it will only last for uh, 1 minute, I think, before the wind blow it off, all right, because it is using the smoke. Yeah, there is the lifespan. Or in the newspaper, for example, the lifespan is very short because people only read once a day, and then after that they don't read anymore. Or on TV, now things are on TV can also be found on YouTube, so you can actually look up and also again YouTube again, Google, no, you don't Google, you search in YouTube that particular advertisement. If you're lucky, you'll be able to find it, and it will be again available for you to be exposed to that particular product or that advertisement. Okay, so most advertisement now are actually on YouTube, because they want people to get exposed to that advertisement over and over again. That means the lifespan of that particular advertisement is longer. Okay, so with that, we have finished the first part of this chapter, which is on the advertising. You have learned on advertising just now. You also have learned on the AIDA concept and also the goal of promotion. Yeah, don't forget. So next week, we'll continue with the second part of this chapter, and I will try to cover the sales promotion tools and also public relations. All right. Thank you guys. Have a nice weekend. Bye.